Shavua Tov and good afternoon, Israel Brief community from all around the world. I know I'm a little late today. I have been gallivanting around Jerusalem with my husband. We are on a little bit of a vacation this week, and we took the opportunity to go to Jerusalem. It is extremely hot here in Israel, and I guess you can say summer is officially here. Nevertheless, today is day 640, and as we always do on the Israel Brief, we are here to speak for our hostages. There are still 50 of them being held captive by Hamas and other terror factions in the Gaza Strip. If you are new to this channel, this is the Israel Brief, where we take a look at the top stories making the news in Israel. We do it every Monday to Thursday. And it is news that you will not hear in the mainstream media, especially about our hostages who the world seems to have forgotten about. We will not allow that to happen until the last one returns home. All of them, without exception. Now, as always, the Israel Brief is brought to you in partnership with these guys, Lay of the Land, and we put out a weekly newsletter. If you would like to receive that newsletter, please be in touch with us via our website or social media, and those details coming up a little later in the show. In the meantime, let's crack on with those top stories. And Prime Minister Netanyahu touched down in Washington a little earlier today. The Prime Minister is scheduled to meet with President Trump a little later. In the meantime, he will meet with the Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Now, this is the third visit by Prime Minister Netanyahu since the elections in November. This is the most out of any other international leaders' opportunity to visit at the White House. And we are expecting the two leaders to speak about Gaza, the possibility of a ceasefire, Iran, as well as expanding the Abraham Accords. Now, everybody's bingo card has Syria to be the next country to join the Abraham Accords. Will it be? Won't it be? We're going to bring you all those updates from here. Now, there won't be a public appearance between the two leaders and the media. However, President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, following their meeting, will go to dinner privately with their wives. President Trump hinted yesterday that there could be a major announcement coming out this week from the two leaders. What will it be? Will it be something about Gaza? Will it be a new country joining the Abraham Accords? What will it be? Whatever it is, we have got it covered. Let's talk now about the ongoing hostage negotiations. And Hamas said yesterday that they had responded positively to the deal on the table. However, Israel said that Hamas were asking for unacceptable concessions. Now, apparently what Hamas are asking for is for guarantees beyond the agreed ceasefire time, for the length of time the ceasefire will be observed. There is some talk that there were issues with Israel maintaining a presence in the Philadelphia corridor. However, there is a second round of indirect negotiations happening at the moment. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Netanyahu has received the medical condition update about the remaining 20 or so hostages. We believe about 20 or 21 of the 50 hostages are still alive. And in a separate report to the BBC, a Hamas official has admitted that Hamas has lost control of the Gaza Strip. The official went on to say that about 95% of the Hamas leadership had been eliminated, and that about 80% of its military had been degraded, and said that there were clans that were still active in the Gaza Strip. In news that I could not have predicted, even if I did have a news bingo card, 5 sheikhs from the city of Hebron have written a letter to the government asking to join the Abraham Accords. Now, this letter addressed to the Minister of the Economy, Nir Barkat, says that they want to break away from the Palestinian Authority. Hebron is in a part of Judea and Samaria, or the West Bank, that is controlled by the Palestinian Authority, and they want to establish what they call an emirate in Hebron that will recognize the state of Israel as the nation state of the Jewish people. Wouldn't that be something absolutely incredible? And finally, we now go down under to Australia, and it's a country that has a huge part of my heart. As many of you know, I was in Australia just 2 months ago, and Australia very much is a country that I call my home away from home. I love the community there desperately. I love the country, its people, its incredible wildlife, and Australia holds a very, very special place to me. And I was extremely, extremely distressed and angry to see what happened in Melbourne on Friday night. So what happened in Melbourne on Friday night is an individual who has since been arrested doused the doors of the city's oldest synagogue while people were still inside with a flammable liquid and set it alight. Thank goodness for the smart thinking of somebody who was inside, who managed, first of all, to give a description of the person, but also managed to call the authorities to put out the fire. But this could have had absolutely catastrophic results. In tandem with that, the Miznon restaurant, a restaurant owned by Israelis, was threatened. Food was thrown, tables were thrown, and diners were threatened by protesters screaming what Bob Villan had screamed at Glastonbury last week. I'm not going to say it. I do not want to put what they said out into the ether or into the universe. And the result was a violent pile-on to patrons and the restaurant. It's extremely distressing because this is not the first such incident. Australia, who was a safe haven for so many Jews who survived the Holocaust, who have built these incredible communities. I know these communities well. They are proud Australians, proud Jews, and yes, proud Zionists, as I am. I am a very, very, very proud Zionist. And it's enough of the platitudes from Prime Minister Albanese and his feckless government. The time for words is over. It's not enough to say cowardly acts of anti-Semitism, no place in Australia. Make sure you back that up with action. President Herzog, Prime Minister Netanyahu, Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, and Minister of Diaspora Affairs and Combating Anti-Semitism, Amichai Shikli, have all written very, very, very strong statements to the Prime Minister and the government of Australia saying it is enough. It is time to do something. The Premier of the state of Victoria, Jacinda Allen, has said that she will be establishing an anti-hate task force. Jacinda, just some words of advice. Make it an anti-Semitism task force. You've got to name this hate to fight this hate. And only the Jewish community seems to be targeted with acts of hatred. So enough with the pussyfooting. Call it what it is to fight exactly what it is. So now that I'm sort of off my soapbox, today's audience question actually comes from Shane in Sydney, who says, with the anti-Semitism rising, do you believe that the solution is Aliyah? So for those of you who don't know what the word Aliyah means, it means to ascend, and we refer to immigration to Israel as Aliyah, ascending, your soul ascends. So this is a difficult one to answer, because I've made Aliyah, my husband and I made Aliyah 15 years ago, It is a solution that has worked for us. And we did not make Aliyah because we were forced out of South Africa. We made Aliyah out of choice because we wanted to make Israel our home. But I understand that Israel is not the solution for everybody. And I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't have to be forced out of your home. You shouldn't have to be forced to leave your home. Israel is here for any Jew who wants to return home to the nation state of the Jewish people. This is what is sworn in our Declaration of Independence. However, I also believe that communities like yours in Australia, like others around the world, have built and contributed to the countries that you live in. And why should you be forced to leave? I think if you stand up proudly, with strength, saying enough, and make sure that your country folk recognize that you are just as part of the country as they are, that you have every right to do so. So the short answer is, if you are a community in distress, absolutely come home. But if you feel that you are happy where you are and you don't want to be forced out of your country, stand up proudly. As somebody once said, stay home or go home. And I guess that's my opinion. You guys might have other opinions and I'd be interested to hear them. In the meantime, please don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook page is at Lottel's site. Our YouTube channel is right here at the Israel Brief. If you like our content, please hit that red subscribe button. We are on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks, on Instagram at Rolene_Marks. And guys, God bless you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.